I'm Blake Anderson with a Space Channel News Update. The commercialization and militarization of space is a story we've been following for some time, and recently there's been an uptick in activity around the world, and in space. Let's start with China. A recent Pentagon report highlights the PLA's pursuit and development of counter-space capabilities, including kinetic kill missiles, ground-based lasers, orbiting space robots, and surveillance technology which can monitor objects within their field of view and enable counter-space actions. China has also built an expansive ground support infrastructure to support its growing on-orbit fleet and related functions, including spacecraft, direct ascent, co-orbital, electronic warfare, and directed energy capabilities that can contest or deny an adversary's access to space during a crisis or conflict. As threats to the sovereignty of space continue to escalate, governments around the world are working to stabilize the domain for commerce and exploration. Russia has also entered the theater with a space-based non-destructive anti-satellite weapon. On July 15th, an object was fired into space from Cosmos 2543, which itself was described as birthing a smaller satellite dubbed Cosmos 2542. The same object was spotted earlier this year, stalking the Pentagon's SpySat USA 245. The Kremlin claims the event involved a small space vehicle that inspected one of the national satellites from a close distance using special equipment, adding, the inspection provided valuable information which it transmitted to ground control. The U.S. Space Force disputes this, stating it was a space weapon test. General John J. Raymond said, "This is further evidence of Russia's continuing efforts to develop and test space-based systems, and consistent with the Kremlin's published military doctrine to employ weapons that hold U.S. and allied space assets at risk." General Raymond added, "The U.S. and its allies such as the U.K. were ready and committed to deterring aggression and defending the nation, our allies, and vital U.S. interests from hostile acts in space." In a space strategy document published last month, the Pentagon stated, "China and Russia each have weaponized space as a means to reduce U.S. and allied military effectiveness and challenge our freedom of operation in space." Former Air Force Lieutenant General Stephen Quast wasn't as vague, stating, "If we allow China to have unilateral control of space, then we'll have given them a multi-trillion-dollar market for delivering energy and information to the entire world, and we'll have allowed them to build a weapon that can utterly obliterate us." While China and Russia make headlines, there are many countries quietly entering the domain with unique goals, priorities, and policy. The UAE, Japan, Australia, India, Canada, Israel, and even Iran are just some of the emerging spacefaring nations, each with a possibility of building their own private sector supporting the effort. All of them, however, have the same strategic mindset. With multi-trillion-dollar markets in energy, information, manufacturing, and transportation at stake, competition for the high ground could present the greatest risk America will ever face. More on this in upcoming reports.